Hey guys, this is Daz the WAZ, the Wattbike Zwifter. Unshaven today, 17th of December. I've got the jumper on. It is getting colder, guys. It is going to be Christmas in 8 days' time. Hopefully, you bought yourself a Wattbike and you're watching this on Boxing Day because there's nothing else to do and you're wondering what on earth you have to do to get onto that Zwift platform. Well, this is the video for you. Please remember always to give me a thumb up if you like that. Leave me a comment. Please subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be putting in a lot more of these types of tutorial videos on to share the stuff that I've learned throughout 2020 when I started in the world of Zwift, and going through a little bit more detail about the technicalities of using a Wattbike Atom. I really would like to see this as being an interactive channel, and I really appreciate you watching me today. So got the jumper on. It is cold here in the north of England. We are expecting rain for the next 5 days. Let's get the rain out of the way. Let's get the cold air blast down from Iceland and the Arctic, and let's have some white stuff for Christmas. We've got 8 days to get there. Anyway, on this video, I am going to be playing back. So the jumper's off. Last night I was in here just with a t-shirt on, going through, screen grabbing, basically just navigating my way through 3 different websites. The first one is Zwift Hub. Fantastic resource if you want to go in there, get some information on the badges, the KOMs, the sprints and everything else, and the layouts of the maps on the routes that you will be doing. Fantastic resource. The second one I will be covering is Zwift Hacks, an excellent resource really. I'm going to be going into that in a lot more detail in a few more videos from now. And finally, going back to my old favourite Zwift Insider, with some exclusive hot off the press news from Tour de Zwift 2021, which literally landed as I was recording last night. So I really haven't kind of been in the detail. The registration is open as at today. If you're watching this today, fantastic. Thank you for watching the video on the day that I actually published it, on the 17th of December 2020. Anyway, without further ado, I shall pass on my video from last night. I'm just going to mess about because, as you say, you're new to this game. So hopefully this will work. And in a minute, you'll see a transition and me start talking in the video. Thank you. Hey guys, this is Daz here, the Bike Atom Zwifter. The new banner at the foot of this is Daz the WAZ, which I think sounds quite clever. And I've also got the Let Me Atom icon on the bottom left-hand side. For those of you that aren't following me on the podcast, I do a podcast called Let Me Atom, currently on all common podcast outlets, including Spotify and Apple Pods, whatever they're called. Anyway, straight down to business on this one. This really is an oversight of some of the favourite websites that I have used in the past, just to get me up to speed with things, all things Zwift rather. So the first one that I want to talk to you about is this fantastic free website called Zwift Hub. For those of you who are new to Zwift, it's a fantastic resource, and actually, for those of you who have had a look around my pain cave, you will recognize the triangles. I don't even know my basic shapes. The blue rectangles with all of the details on them. What I did, and this could be construed as being slightly sad, is I took screenshots using my Apple Mac in the house of each of these cards, if you like. Then I printed them all off the same size and laminated them, and they adorn one of the walls in my pain cave where the Wattbike is stored. It's a good go-to resource if you're sitting wondering, I don't really know what route I'm going to do today, or if you're going out to bag one of the badges on Zwift. These are a real good ready reckoner, but also for those of you who like to keep track of where you're at and don't always want to have to go into Zwift and go into a game and then go into your badges, which seems to be a long-winded way of identifying how well you're doing in Zwift, you can actually keep track of things on here. I originally had some mega Excel spreadsheet that I basically had color codes, so everything that I'd completed, I color coded it in green. Everything that I'd attempted, but for whatever reason, technical or otherwise, I just got fed up, just coloured it in yellow, and the remainder was all coloured in white. So it was quite easy to filter out, but this is even easier, if I'm honest. So you'll have to bear with me because I have this on my screen up to my right, your left as you're looking at me in the little television. So I'm actually remotely using the cursor, so my eyesight isn't all that great. So if I do tend to squint a little bit, it's because I'm concentrating on the monitor in front of me, which I'm recording this on, and not the big 40-inch Samsung flat screen TV, which is mounted on the wall. Otherwise, all you'd see is the inside of my left ear, and that would be rather rude. So just to give you a basic rundown of this, from top to bottom. So obviously above here, which I've hidden just so that you can see this in full view, is the URL. It is literally just zwifthub.com. You can create an account. So on here, I can sign in with my email, which is already set in there. You're not going to see the password because I'm not that stupid. Okay, and then the page refreshes when you go in there, and what you have along the top, you can actually do a search for any particular route. So let's just do one that I did last night, TikTok. Start typing it in, and then the picture comes up. Clear that, just press the X. Nice and simple. Along the right-hand side here on the top of this banner is two little drop-downs. So you've got badges. These are little achievements that you can do. So if you have ridden for 3 days in a row, you get habitual, blah, 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 right the way up to sort of like the big ones, which some of them are actually hidden. You don't know you've got these in Zwift until you actually complete that challenge or badge, if you like. For instance, I've still got the no big deal, which is riding 100 miles in one ride. I've not done that yet. It's probably going to take up a good 4.5, maybe 5.25 hours for me to do that. Masochist is the other one I haven't yet done, which is climbing the Alpe du Zwift 25 times. I can't remember how many times I've done it, but it's certainly anywhere near 25. I have done more than 5. So that, again, there's no telling how far you've done it. You'll probably just get the badge and be surprised. And then you've got these extra credits. Not quite sure why this one isn't lit up, because I have achieved that. I achieved that the other week. And you've also got these things like for getting ride-ons and stuff like that. So you get 30, I think that says, 30 ride-ons in one ride, 100 ride-ons. Everesting is one ride of 29,029 feet. It's about 8.5 times up and down Everest, I believe. So you're looking at a good 8 hours of doing that, I would say, if not more. And liftoff is achieving an Alpe du Zwift summit in less than an hour. So they're the badges. Obviously up here keeps a tally. Also keeps like a little pie chart, if you like. Is that the right word? Ring chart? I don't know. So when you get all of the badges, that will close the circle at the top. In addition, you've also got these achievements. So this is literally what completions you've done, what distances you've travelled out of the entire available distance in kilometres, elevation, the stars that you can get, the experience you can get, and I think that's the badge. I'm not sure if that's the badge collections. I'm not quite sure. I haven't really worked it out that much, but it must be the badges, because I've got 100% of everything with the exception of London and Watopia, and I'll show you the two that I haven't done, and you'll understand why. And then you've got the question. I think that takes you to a frequently asked question page. Then you've got your profile, and there you can donate to them as well. So obviously, if you like it and you use it quite a lot, obviously do the right thing, make a donation. This is where the magic happens on the left-hand side. I'm just going to de-emphasize that. If I can get rid of that, it's probably going to want me to click on something. No, it's hanging around like a bad smell. Right. So, and that's why, because I've moved my cursor. Right. Okay, so on the left-hand side there, you've got these filters. Now, what this does is it allows you to select and deselect any particular world, so you can have a look at their map. So if you've never ridden anything within France, you can click on Clear All to get rid of everything, and then you get this strange Obi-Wan Kenobi. that comes up, and you can select France again. And then within France, you now have the 7 routes that you can go. Now, inside a secret, these are all duplicates of one another, but they are the reverse of each other. So you can see that, where are we? So RGV is basically Casse-Passe the other way around. Douce France is Roule Ma Poule the other way around. And albeit that, I don't know why, but this seems to have an elevation either side of it, and this one doesn't, but they are the reverse. And then Petit Boucle and Tire Bouchon. Excuse my French pronunciation, but again, they're just reverse way around, or you can see the differences. So within each of them, you've got like Balloon Sprint is that way, but it's Balloon Sprint reverse, I think, on this one. There it is. Right, so there's the Balloon Sprint reverse. So that's how you select the particular world. If you are jumping on this and you think, well, I can't remember, I haven't got the calendar, which, again, I'll show you in a little while, where you find the calendar for what the worlds are each day. You can click on only today's world, and it just defaults to whatever the default days are for today. So you know that now, if I jump on the bike, I've got a choice of Watopia, which is always active, and also Innsbruck and Yorkshire. So again, that's just another good little feature. So that's worlds covered. For distance, it's a sliding scale. So if you want to do a long distance ride, you can say, well, I want to choose anything that's over 74, and then you start to kind of look at the bigger course badges. So 89.8 on the 4 Horsemen, right the way up to 173.3 on the PRL full. Similarly, if you don't want to do a long ride and you want to do something that's less than 30 kilometers, you can slide it right the way down and release, and it will then just filter out anything that is a shorter course. So again, horses for courses. If you want something in the middle, you slide that up a little bit, you slide that up a bit more, and then you've got the middle range. So again, just another good feature. So just reset that to get everything back on there. Same thing with elevation, exactly the same. I won't go through that. But this one's quite a different look about it. So with this, with KOMs, you can click to choose any of the routes that has Volcano KOM. So if you've got Strava and you're chasing a best KOM time or something like that, you can select all of the routes that have the Volcano KOM in it, or you can say, well, actually, I won't mind doing Titans Grove. So there you've got 2 choices of maps that you can just jump straight onto Zwift and say, I'll do Bigfoot Hills, because I'm a bit sadistic, I want to do 67.6 kilometers, or I'll do Saint-Anne-Siquoise, which is 20.2. So again, another great little addition that you can now select each of. In fact, can we reset? Oh yeah, reset all KOMs there. So the reset buttons at the top. So that's your KOMs. Same again with the sprints. So you can drop down, say New York. You want to do the New York sprint reverse. You can click on that one. You've got 3 that are selected. I know what's going to happen here. Oh yeah, there you go. So you've actually got more of the forward New York sprints on the course choices. If you wanted to do the New York sprint reverse, you've only got 3. If you want to do both in one race, you've only got 1 choice. So again, really easy to filter out. So I'm just going to reset that, and I'm going to minimize that. Lap jerseys. These are just other things. So if you're looking to chase a lap jersey, it's a bit weird, is this, because there really is, on some of the maps, there is only 1 lap. So there's 1 lap journey on each of the ones, with the exception of Watopia, in which case you've got Hilly Loop, Volcano Circuit, Forward and Reverse, and Jungle Loop. And the final one is achievements. So when this says achievements, basically what this means is, have you completed this route or not? So if you've got the badge, and this is what this achievement is up here, if you've got the badge up there, if you want to see what you have done, then you just filter out to only achieved routes. Now, you'll see what I mean now, why I haven't completed all of them badges yet. If I deselect that and then look at the ones that I have not achieved, you will see there are currently 5 that I have not achieved yet. The 4 Horsemen, in fact that's a lie, because I have done that, so there's obviously a glitch on this system. The Mega Pretzel, again I've done that. I'm not sure. Oh, in fact, I know why. I think you've got to tick off that you've done them, actually. The Mega Pretzel, the Four Horsemen, the PRL Full, the Uber Pretzel, and the Pretzel. So, yeah, I've just realised how this works now. I've remembered how this works. You go into these and you click to say that you've done them. So you select, I'm going to select the Four Horsemen, so I know I have done that. So just clicking on the Four Horsemen. I'll just type in that in, I think. Four Horsemen. There you go. Right. So in the Four Horsemen, I can select and drop down, and I can have a look at the little route details. It shows me where I'm going. This was a particularly nasty one because it finishes on the Alpe de Zwift, so you kind of do that at the end, and then you have to come back down it and go right the way back to the start. It is a real nightmare course, but fun nonetheless. Finishes on the Watopia sprint, look there. So that's what you've got. So you can drop down and think, yes, I will do it, I won't do it. It tells you how many KOMs there are on the course and how many sprints there are. This will jump onto Strava, and that tells you it is a loop rather than a straight out course and no coming back. When you've completed the course and you do this in Zwift, you come back into this and you put a symbol, changing it to a gold symbol there. That means that you've now achieved that one. And now if I select all routes, which will take a while, and change that as well. And now if I click only achieved routes and then go back into only not achieved routes, now it's gone. So I know I've done that one as well. So I'm going to put a tick in that one, and I know I've done that one. I have only got 2 map worlds left to do, and you can see why. 120 and 173 kilometers. Okay, so that is Zwift Hub, zwifthub.com. You'll get some great use out of that. It is a fantastic resource. So I'm just going to jump off that now. And now I want to jump across onto another great resource, Zwift Hacks. So Zwift Hacks, I've not really gone around this quite as much as I would like to. So some of this might well be learning as we go along. But what I do like about this is sometimes in Zwift Companion, particularly if you are in a race team and you're looking to join, I don't know, one of the WTRL time trials, and for whatever reason, and sometimes it happens on Companion that you miss some events, they're not actually listed. This is a great resource. One of the tools on here is events on Zwift. So if you click on that, it takes a while to load up. I should get some lift music at this point and play that. Right, so here we go. So now what we've got, it gives you the current time. So obviously you can check that you're looking at the most up-to-date. Sometimes the service does go down. But essentially what you've got here is similar to the Zwift Hub, but what this does is it allows you to filter out the things that are coming up soon. So if you're thinking of jumping on the bike in the next hour, then you can start filtering out what it is you want. So first of all, you can reload the page if you've been on here for say more than 5 minutes and some of the races that are listed have actually gone, so you can refresh and reload the page. You can choose to have the distances in kilometers, which I like kilometers, and I also like 24-hour clocks, so I'm going to display in that. Then remember the filters. You can show the descriptions and show the started events. Right, Legend here will just give you the breakdown of what all the colours mean. Okay, it's slightly behind sometimes when you click on some of these menus. So basically what I've said on there is I want to show descriptions. So on each of these listed events now, I've got a description, a full description of what that is. So it tells me what categories I can enter under. It tells me what time the races start for each of the categories, because some of the races on Zwift have actually got staggered start times, so that you don't have everybody leaving the pen at the same time, for instance. Tells you about what route it is. There are hyperlinks through there, so you can have a look at the route map as well. That will then take you on to a nice little drawing about that one. There's these little icons in here, so you can have a look at the information about that event if it's registered, and most of them are, to be honest with you, these days. on Zwift Power. But this magic button here, which I think should be plastered across the middle, is the Zwift.com. Now, if I click on that Zwift.com, which I'm not going to do just yet, I will do in a second, is what that does is it fires you across to Zwift.com, which you can then log in with your login, and you can then choose which category, what time, and what race you want to enter into when the companion app doesn't show up the event for whatever reason. So you can see that, yeah, and you get the description there, who it's sponsored by, who it's brought to you by, whether it's a fun, whether it's a race, a crit, or whatever, if it's a fondo. So all of that information across there tells you all the details about, you know, the ride itself, the distance, what time it's on, what the name of it is, and everything. And here is the overarching category that you can enter under. Now, if it's not a race, if it's just a ride, then that basically just means that they expect people to be pedaling at a B categories level, which is 3.3 to 4 watts per kilogram. In most of these rides as well, it's fair to say that there's nearly always a beacon, a guy or girl who has got a weird looking sergeant stripe above them in like a goldy yellow colour, which then kind of projects this yellow halo Batman beam out of their head. So it kind of gives people a rough idea, providing the beacon is actually sticking to the allocated watts per kilogram, gives you a rough steer of where the intended effort of that ride should be being put out, rather than chasing those mad frogs that kind of rush straight for the front. So I'm going to click on hide descriptions, and then we go back to the standard list. If I click on legend, hang on, I'll go back over there. Sorry, it's me messing about again. So click on legend. So this now tells you that all of the different settings that are on there as well. So some of them allow late joins. A lot of the races that have results will not allow late joins for obvious reasons. Some have got things called fence. Now the fence is used where you have got a ride which is supposedly being kept to a certain level, and the beacon, if you like, has a distance ahead of themselves where they would not like people to go through. Now what happens in game is you see this kind of virtualized red wall that keeps moving ahead of you, providing you stay behind it. As you approach it, it flashes up a little warning. It will not kick you off the course, but it kind of gives you a bit of a warning saying stay behind the fence or something like that. You've then got I don't even know what that says. What does that say? Zap flyers, right? Okay. So zap flyers, whatever that means. You've got no steering. Obviously, as some of you know, some of the turbo bikes now, if you're using an actual bicycle, as in a cycle, and not a smart trainer like a Tax, which doesn't have any steering, or a Wattbike Atom, some of them have no steering on them. Some allow steering. Some are on open roads. Some are double draft. This basically means that the effect of a draft is doubled, and some of them will allow a jersey to be unlocked. So this is for certain clubs that put on courses every so often. If you do their races, like some of the Tour de Zwifts, you will then unlock a custom jersey for them. So so that is pretty much, I think, all the things that you need to know. The filters, again. So with the filters, if you want to have a look at all the cycling events, you can basically just say, well, I only want to know about cycling because I don't do any running in Zwift. If you want to look for, let's say, time trials, I want to click on time trials, and I want to have a look at the next week. But I'm particularly interested in a WTRL, and let's just have a look for another one. Tour of New York. Right. It's obviously I've gone a bit too specific, I think, on this one. Can I untick that one? No. Right. Too specific. Let's have a look for all. Let's have a look for all. Let's go for WTRL, just to make it easier. So WTRL, here we go. Right. I know that tomorrow there is a Sandency-Quoise ride on, because I'm in it. I'm doing the Zone 6, 18:30 plus whatever minutes they're going to delay that by. All categories allowed to enter. I enter as a frappe, as they call it, within this particular WTRL event. So if I I think if I click on this, yes, here we go. Right, so I click on this, it gives you all the rules. It tells you about the events. So in fact, a little bit of a secret. So yeah, so I've got a 3-minute wait tomorrow because I think we're in Pen D. Oh no, that's the categories. We still don't know what that is yet. No steering, but you can get a route badge if you haven't done San Sequaz, which is great. Now, I will show you this now. So I'm just going to click on zwiftpower.com to start off with. Okay, and what Zwift Power does is it jumps straight onto that event. It will tell you all the information that you need to know, but it really gives you a visual of what the course layout is. It is a fairly flat, mostly flat course with 2 slightly challenging climbs up Titans Grove. It's a longish ride as well. It's 2 laps. It's 43 kilometers. For a time trial, that is quite a stretch, to be honest with you. So it's not going to be easy. Okay, and then coming back onto here, we'll click on Zwift.com, and I'll just show you what happens when you click on that one. Nice and simple, to be honest with you. It'll take a while to load because it's pulling the information down from Zwift itself, so it can take a while. Okay, here we go. So now what? Sorry about that. That's just me being an absolute div and trying to move the window within the broadcasting software. So essentially what this does is it gives you the date and the time, what it is, you know exactly what it is. Essentially then what you can do is you can select which zone you would like to join. You click on plus. Now I've already joined for tomorrow night anyway, so I won't do that. But this is another way of signing on to an event within Zwift, where the companion might not necessarily work for you. Okay, that didn't work very well. It just completely froze out for a second there, so a little bit disjointed. Another way you can do it, of course, is just do a print screen. So you can print screen that, then you can paste it into something like Paintbrush, MS Paint, or whatever it is you've got on your system. Trim it, crop it out, print it off in A4, job done. This is obviously highlighting the 16th, so it's the 16th of December. When I'm broadcasting this today and tomorrow, we've got the route guest worlds, if you like, Yorkshire and Innsbruck. They're like Innsbruck this week. There's 5 days of it this week. Innsbruck's a really good and technical kind of course as well. It's got a good variety actually. As Innsbruck, it's I think it's an undersold route. I think it should have a lot more on here. I personally think Innsbruck has a lot more to offer for somebody new to Zwift than a lot of the France maps, because a lot of the France maps are generally flat, with the exception of the obvious one, Ventop, which is a monster climb, and the ones that have got petite KOM, which is anything but petite. So these normally get issued. I say normally. It depends on how busy the team are. But these normally get issued out within the last week of the month. So you'll start to see January's being populated on here very soon. So I'm just going to have a quick check and see if they have got, and I'm going to get my cursor in the right place. It'll probably be blank for January. Yeah, so there you go. So they haven't got the courses on there for January. However, if you're sad and you want to go back and reminisce, you should be able to go all the way on. Right, you should be absolutely going all over the place. You can go back. There you go. So you can think, oh, what day was it I did that? Oh, yeah, I did Yorkshire on the 27th. And then you can go on. So you can refer back as well if you think, well, I can't remember when I did that route last. I know it was last month sometime. It was a London map and it was about the 3rd week. So you can say, well, actually, I'll go on to Strava and I'll have a look and see how well I did on the 17th of November, let's just say, for example. So we've been through this a little bit in the previous videos as well, and we've discussed this a little bit in the Let Me At 'Em podcast. It's got links in here. These all are kind of very supportive of one another. So you've got Zwift Hacks is linked into here as well, and you've got this reference one as well. So that's where you'll find the course calendar, which is normally on the right-hand banner menu there anyway. News is okay. It gives you information about what, so let's just have a click on game updates. So it actually asks you to, all right, yeah, so that tells you the latest release version, what the updates are. Goes through all of the different changes that you've had. So these are going back to October, the last updates. It'll tell you exactly what you can expect. You've also got events. So within events, a lot of the sponsored events, such as the Tour de Zwift. Oh, I'm going to have a read of this because I've not seen that yet. That's hot off the press today by Eric Solange. That is fantastic. We've also got the Everesting Challenge, which obviously people are posting on there. It's great. There's also, for those of you who don't know, you've got the Rafa Festive 500, which is a particular beast. I've not done it. There you go. The Festive 500 Strava Challenge and Zwift workouts. So for the first time ever, the Festive 500, which has always been an in real life, apparently, event has turned virtual as well. And you've got the Zwift Nations Challenge. So that's an old one. We've done that one. I did that one, actually. It was quite a challenging one. So obviously the newest stuff is at the top. Let's go in and have a look at this because this is literally hot off the press. Tour de Zwift. Right. Interesting. Okay. So you've got lots and lots of videos in here. It is a serious single resource for everything that you need to know about Zwift. Hence why it's called Zwift Insider, I guess. Signing up. Here we go. Right. So sign up in-game on December the 17th tomorrow. Right. Brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. Look at all of that there. Serious mountain routes, scenic routes, after party climbs. There'll be some special ones as well, I'm sure, in here that you can only enter as an event. Absolutely brilliant. Right, okay. So that's food for thought. I'm going to let you all get away now because those of you that are serious about Zwifting will want to read that as well. I've been Daz, the Wattbike Atom Zwifter, Daz the WAZ, also broadcasting on the podcast. Just do a search for Let Me Atom on your usual podcast preferred system. If you can't find it, you literally just go to Spotify, do a search for Let Me Atom. You'll know it's me because there's like a green graphic with a Wattbike Atom in it. And I've done, I think, about 14 episodes now with a few bonus ones, which are some after race reports. Drop a like in the bottom. Thanks for subscribing. Looking forward to Christmas. It ain't going to stop me wattbiking, so I'm going to be posting more and more content on here. Take it easy, stay safe, enjoy yourself. It's been nice talking to you.